Last week, U.S. President Donald Trump engaged in pivotal talks with China's President Xi Jinping, culminating in the finalization of a landmark deal regarding TikTok, the Chinese-owned social media platform that has become a defining feature of digital culture in the United States. Welcome viewers to my channel. Please subscribe, like my video and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next update. This agreement represents not only a resolution to years of intense political debate but also a critical moment in the broader landscape of U.S.-China relations, highlighting the growing tension over technology, national security, and the control of data in an increasingly interconnected world. The negotiations surrounding TikTok's operations in the United States have been long and complex, reflecting the platform's immense popularity as well as the security concerns it has raised among American policymakers. ByteDance, the Beijing-based tech company that owns TikTok, faced repeated pressure from Washington to divest its U.S. operations, with officials warning that failure to do so would result in a complete ban of the app for American users by January 2025. The timeline for such a shutdown was repeatedly postponed, with 4 separate delays issued during Trump's administration. These delays were a testament to the difficulty of balancing the economic importance of the platform with the need to address national security concerns, and also underscored the high stakes of negotiating a solution that would satisfy both countries. Under the terms of the new deal, TikTok's U.S. operations will be run through a newly formed joint venture company valued at approximately $14 billion, £10.5 billion, according to Vice President J.D. Vance. ByteDance will retain less than 20% of the new entity, effectively ceding majority control to American investors. A senior White House official emphasized that the structure of the deal was carefully designed to maintain American oversight of the platform while allowing TikTok to continue operating without interruption. Our goal was to protect Americans' data while allowing TikTok to continue serving its enormous user base, the official stated. The negotiations were not without friction. Vance acknowledged that there had been some resistance from the Chinese side, but he stressed that the overarching objective was clear: to keep TikTok operational while ensuring the security of American users' data. Trump corroborated this account, noting that he had personally briefed Xi on the details of the proposed deal and that the Chinese leader had given his approval. "I spoke with President Xi. We had a good talk. I told him what we were doing, and he said go ahead with it," Trump said. One of the core concerns for American officials has been TikTok's algorithm, a sophisticated system that determines which content is shown to users based on their activity, preferences, and predictive modeling. Critics in Washington have warned that the algorithm could be susceptible to manipulation by Chinese authorities, potentially influencing public opinion or even swaying political outcomes. Despite these warnings, U.S. officials have not provided concrete evidence that Beijing has ever sought to interfere in this way. ByteDance has consistently rejected these allegations, insisting that it does not, and would never, share user data with the Chinese government. Trump's relationship with TikTok has been complex and, at times, contradictory. During his first term in office, he made multiple attempts to ban the app, citing national security threats as the primary justification. Yet, Trump has also credited the platform with helping him reach younger audiences and boosting his re-election prospects. Ironically, the White House itself launched an official TikTok account last month, using the platform to engage directly with a demographic that increasingly consumes news and political content through short-form video. This dual approach, criticizing TikTok while simultaneously using it as a tool for political outreach, illustrates the platform's immense cultural and strategic significance. Adding to the intrigue of the deal is the composition of the investment group behind the new joint venture. Media mogul Rupert Murdoch, Oracle co-founder Larry Ellison, and, probably 4 or 5 absolutely world-class investors, as Trump described them, are set to play prominent roles. Both Murdoch and Ellison have well-established political and business ties to Trump, raising questions about the potential influence of these figures over TikTok's operations and governance. Analysts have suggested that their involvement could create an unusual convergence of business interests, political influence, and media oversight, sparking debate over the appropriate boundaries between private investment and political power in managing a platform that reaches millions of Americans daily. Despite Xi Jinping's approval of the deal, several key questions remain unanswered. Observers are seeking clarity on how exactly the joint venture will function, what mechanisms will be put in place to monitor TikTok's algorithm, how user data will be protected, and what regulatory safeguards will ensure that foreign influence is minimized. These uncertainties underscore the broader challenge facing governments worldwide, balancing the need to foster technological innovation and economic growth with the imperative to protect national security and personal privacy. TikTok's influence in the United States cannot be overstated. According to a recent Pew Research Center study, approximately 43% of U.S. adults under the age of 30 regularly consume news via TikTok, a rate higher than any other social media platform, including YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. The platform has not only revolutionized the way younger Americans engage with entertainment and information but has also emerged as a critical tool in shaping cultural trends, public opinion, and political discourse. This unprecedented reach makes TikTok a unique case study in the interplay between technology, society, and governance. The deal also highlights the increasingly intertwined nature of business and geopolitics in the digital age. As technology platforms expand globally, governments face the difficult task of regulating foreign-owned companies that have direct access to vast amounts of personal data. TikTok serves as a high-profile example of the challenges this creates, demonstrating how national security, economic interests, and public opinion can collide in the digital era. Historically, the United States has taken a cautious approach to foreign technology companies, especially those with ties to governments that it perceives as strategic competitors. Previous administrations have scrutinized firms such as Huawei and ZTE over concerns that their equipment could be used for espionage. TikTok, while a consumer-facing social media platform rather than a telecommunications company, raises similar questions about access to data, influence, and control. The joint venture deal is therefore more than just a business transaction, it is a test case for how the U.S. manages foreign technology in a high-stakes, politically charged environment. The involvement of high-profile American investors adds another layer of complexity. Murdoch, Ellison, and others bring not only financial resources but also significant political clout. Critics argue that their participation could tilt the platform's governance in ways that favor specific political or business interests, while supporters contend that their expertise could help ensure TikTok's stability and compliance with U.S. laws. Either way, the deal signals a new phase in the globalization of technology, where investment, policy, and media influence intersect in unprecedented ways. Furthermore, TikTok's meteoric rise underscores the generational shifts in media consumption. Younger audiences increasingly prefer short-form, algorithmically curated content over traditional news sources, giving platforms like TikTok a level of cultural and informational power previously reserved for television networks or newspapers. This shift has important implications for democracy, journalism, and civic engagement, as the mechanisms that govern content distribution, such as TikTok's algorithm, can have real-world impacts on public knowledge, opinion, and political behavior. The agreement also reflects broader geopolitical considerations. For the United States, the TikTok deal represents an opportunity to assert influence over a major foreign-owned platform while demonstrating that American regulatory and security concerns are being taken seriously. For China, ByteDance's continued minority stake in the platform allows the company to maintain a foothold in one of the largest social media markets in the world, while signaling a willingness to engage with U.S. regulatory demands. The deal is therefore emblematic of the delicate balancing act between cooperation and competition that defines U.S.-China relations in the technology sector. Looking forward, the implementation of the joint venture will be closely monitored by policymakers, industry analysts, and the public. Key metrics of success will include the security and privacy of user data, the integrity of TikTok's algorithm, and the transparency of the platform's governance structures. Additionally, the deal will likely set a precedent for how the United States approaches other foreign-owned technology platforms in the future, establishing a framework for negotiation, oversight, and compliance that could have far-reaching implications for global tech policy. In conclusion, the TikTok agreement marks a significant turning point in the intersection of technology, business, and geopolitics. It resolves a prolonged standoff between the US and China, protects the interests of American users, and ensures that TikTok can continue to operate in one of its most important markets. At the same time, it raises complex questions about political influence, corporate governance, and the responsibilities of global technology platforms. As the joint venture moves forward, it will provide a valuable case study in how governments, companies, and investors navigate the rapidly evolving landscape of digital media, international relations, and the challenges of safeguarding data in an interconnected world. Ultimately, The TikTok deal underscores the growing importance of social media platforms not just as tools of entertainment, but as instruments of political influence, economic power, and cultural significance. With 170 million US users and a reach that surpasses traditional media for younger Americans, TikTok exemplifies the challenges and opportunities of the digital age. Its future will be shaped not only by the terms of this deal but also by ongoing debates over privacy, security, and the role of global technology in